Howdy all and welcome back to Lives. I think it's time to play a little 7 Days to Die. Ooh. Is this my radiation zone finally? Oh yeah. I can't believe I quit last episode that close. That's crazy. Alright. Well, that means we can go back to exploration mode instead of, well, I guess that's exploration mode too. But exploration mode versus traveling mode. I don't know how much I really still need out and about, to be honest, but hey, I'm trying to make a bedroll so that you guys can't kill me off a million miles away. And make me run back. That's disappointing. How much space you got going in here? Not much. Let's see what I've got that you might be able to launch your parts. No, I need those. Those are my... Oh, I can't believe I don't have this stuff in here. I don't think I need an extra basket, I guess. I am going to keep those. Alright, well at least gives me a couple of spots for gear. Yeah, I'm just playing away, watching a show, and I was like, I should probably think about getting my video edited, and so I opened up my editor and opened up the, folder to pull my raw files into, and I'm like, huh, I didn't actually record any raw files today. I should probably get around to doing that, even though my show is currently live, and I'm gonna have to wait till tomorrow, probably at this point, to watch the part that I'm missing right now. It's okay, though. I like playing this game. I hope I like playing this game because I've played it a lot this week. This will be my fourth session this week, and it's only Thursday, so Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So in 5 days, I've played 4 times. Yep. Which, isn't anything if you're constantly playing a game, but I only play this game on certain days and stuff, so that's a lot for me in 1 week. Oh man, I have to tell you this story. So, I mean, that's what I do. So, how did I get in here? I came in the other way, right? Nope. Nope. How did I get in here? Oh, there we go. The back door. Oh, does that mean I didn't go into the bathrooms? So I get up today and I start get my breakfast, and I start into work, and I'm working for a little while, and my niece comes downstairs, which she does sometimes, and she's got something in her hand, and she comes over to me, and she drops on my desk a packet of instant oatmeal. And she says, "Nobody knows how to cook this but you. You need to cook this for me." And I'm like, what do you mean? Did you ask anybody else? Because I'm a little busy at the moment. And she's like, they said they don't know how to cook it, so I need you to cook this for me. And then she flips it over and she's like, right here are the directions. What do they say? And I'm like, well, you know where the directions are at. Why couldn't you get somebody else to do this? And she's like, well, they told me they don't know how. I'm like, that's ridiculous. Oh, hey, I didn't put down my bedroll yet. Boink. There we go. So, I told her what the directions said, and then and then I'm like, oh, she's not gonna remember, and they're apparently refusing. I mean, I didn't expect her to do it. I expected her to get one of the people upstairs who both use the microwave and are capable of reading the directions that are printed on the outside of the package to make the oatmeal for her, seeing as how one of them is technically her babysitter. And so I'm not sure why they sent her to me to make the oatmeal, because it basically consists of put a little bit of milk into a bowl, put in the oatmeal, cook it for a minute. The end. Don't act like you've never used the microwave before. Like that's a serious, ridiculous amount of hand-holding. Considering two of the people upstairs were adults. Now, granted, they probably didn't ask the one adult, but the other adult knows how to use the microwave. I'm pretty sure. The other child who was upstairs also routinely uses the microwave and can read because he's in like the 3rd grade. So I'm not exactly sure why it was necessary for me to do this. But I get upstairs and they're just screaming at each other about making this, and I'm like, just give it to me. Just give it to me. So I made the oatmeal. And the adult was like, yeah, I wasn't sure how to make that. And I'm like, you know, that's not really the issue. The issue is you didn't even try. You didn't even try. And that is the big problem with the people in this house, is none of them will even try. Oh, what's that? You did this thing one time where the wash machine was making noise. You mean your load is unbalanced? I don't know, but you stopped it from banging one time, so I need you to go make it stop. Yeah, your load is unbalanced. You need to position the clothing in the wash machine so that it's evenly distributed on both sides of the center. Or all the way around the center. You know, it's in a circle, so you want all sides of the circle to be at the same level. Yeah, I don't know how to do that, so I need you to come. Are you kidding me? The water won't drain from the wash machine? Yeah, you know, you gotta pull that hose in the back. I showed you how to do it. Dang it, Snake! I know you showed me that once, but I don't really remember how any of that works, so I really need you to come. Are you kidding me? They drive me crazy. What is this building? It's a weird looking building. It's supposed to be a utility? Ah, yes, it is. It's an oil. It says oil, so it must be a foundry? Let's explore a foundry. A foundry? That's not what it's called. An oil... Wow, I'm drawing a blank. This is an oil refinery. There we go. Wrong kind of industrial building. Foundry makes metals. Well, it doesn't make the metals, but processes metals. I suppose technically it could make the metals if you count... Yep, Yep, I'm drawing another blank. What's it called? Alloys as new metal. Uh, but yeah. Ooh, and then, hey guy. And then, of course, we had our Wednesday D&D last night, and that would not be replete without a story of how my DM did something that was ridiculous and thought it was okay. So, for whatever reason, now the one guy who plays with this, we play online, we use an online format, and there's a system we use called Roll20. So it's all done in your browser. And so the one guy, he plays on a laptop, and not a good laptop either. And so his sound is bad, um, and uh, you know, and he has issues all the time, anyways, with the computer stuff. And so last night, for once in a long, long time, our DM had prepared for the evening, and there's a nice thing you can do called dynamic lighting. And so hey, the way it works is you got your map, and like let's say this floor is my map, and so each of these squares is like a different room or something. You take your cursor and you go click, 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 click. Now if there's a door in the wall, you go click, edge of door, click, click, door, click, click, wall, click. And so what that does is when your players come near that wall, instead of seeing through the wall, they can't see through the wall, and they can't see through the door. Oh, wow. Give it all to me. And I guess I'm glad I came into this refinery. I didn't even think about there being a bunch of gas. Got 34 barrels of gas now. That's awesome. I gotta keep looking in here. Maybe there's more. No. And so one time we played, he had the dynamic lighting, and I love it because the other way that we play is he covers the whole map in black, and then he removes it as he decides we can see. He doesn't remove it according to the rules of the game. He removes it according to what he thinks we can see. And I say that because the characters in the game, they have a certain amount of sight distance they can see. Now, normally, you know, you can see for miles, but oh, this is weird. But if it's dark, you can only see certain amount of distance. So, like, if you're a normal human, you can't see in the dark. You require light to be able to see in the dark. And so a torch gives off like 15 feet of regular light, and then from 15 to 30 feet is dim light, and then they can't see anything beyond that 30 feet from them. Creatures with dark vision usually see about 60 feet. Dim light is bright light to them, and if there's no light, then it's just shades of gray. And so he never unblacks the map at 60 feet out for all of our characters who can see. Ooh, this is really weird. Who can see out that far. Ooh, somebody. Oh man, I have got to take this with me. Shoot. I was thinking I had more parts. I want to take this with me too. Oh man, there's not a lot I want to throw away though. I hate to throw duct tape away. I'll throw iron away. Iron's not that important. I mean, it's important, but I probably have a bunch, so I could throw those diamonds away. Although I'm gonna throw the diamonds away, I might as well throw away the tokens, right? Where's the ladder down? That's interesting that there was a gun thing in here. Is there another one of these I can climb down into? Bizarre, or the gun thing, the silo there, whatever you want to call it. The tank. There we go. So I like the dynamic lighting because it does it for you automatically. And all he has to do then is remove the lines he draws across the doorway. And it doesn't take that long to do. I mean, I just showed you. It's a few mouse clicks. You're on the dynamic mode. Click, 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 click. Done. That's a whole room right there. And so for whatever reason last night, all he did was complain the entire night about how much lag he was getting from this dynamic lighting. Now, the DM, and that's not the guy with the bad computer. The guy with the bad computer is like, yeah, it's giving me a little lag, but I can deal with it. The DM is always talking about how amazing his computer is, how powerful his computer is. And I'm like, well, I don't have any lag at all. But I am on a gaming rig and not a, laptop like the other guy's playing on. So he's like, well, my computer is super, good and should be able to handle this. I don't know why it's not. And I'm like, okay, well, because I don't know. He says a lot when we're playing games with the gaming group, because sometimes he plays with us. He comments a lot on how much better his computer is than mine, and how terrible my internet is and stuff, and it gets annoying. And so the trick is, though, is that often our internet issues are on his end, and a lot of our computer issues with playing games is on his end too. So I just, I just let him spout it off, whatever. And so, yeah, so he just complained and complained and complained about the lag last night. So I'm assuming that once we get done with this dungeon, we're going to go back to no dynamic lighting, which is a shame because I hate the way he unblacks the map. Because he doesn't do it out to 60 feet. He does it at like 20 feet. And then you can't see what's going on. And then he's like, oh, well, you ran right out there into those guys. And now you've been attacked. Well, no, you didn't place them on the map, or you didn't unblack enough of the map so that we could see what was going on. And then that brings us to the other story about D&D last night. I play two characters. One of my characters is a rogue, and this one time, for whatever reason, he decided we had to have super powerful weapons given to us. And so he gave us... Well, I don't feel the rogue really got a super powerful weapon, but my cleric definitely got a super overpowered weapon. And I told him it was too powerful and just to give me a regular weapon. And he didn't, and he keeps making it. Well, he makes it super powerful, and then he takes part of it back because he decides it's too powerful. And then he changes it, and then I never know what it's supposed to do because every time he tells me it does something, the next time I try to do it that way, he tells me that's not what it does. And he won't give me. He claims to have it all written down what it does, and he won't give me the sheet saying what it does. And I don't know. I didn't want it. I didn't want it because I knew how annoying it was going to be, and it is. It can be super annoying, and um, it's not even that like. I guess I could throw away these rocks. I'm gonna want this meat. I need one space to pick stuff up with. Uh, and so, anyways, so the assassin got this sword, and the sword makes it so that she can't be surprised by enemies. Apparently, they're within 30 feet of her. Now, that is not what he said, and it's not what he wrote down, but that's what he's changed it to. It originally said, can't be surprised, and enemies can't approach within 30 feet of you while you're asleep, or else the sword wakes you up. And he's changed that a couple of times. But the one that really annoys me is the can't be surprised part. He surprises me all the time, and it's super annoying. And I don't mean like he does something I don't expect. I mean he applies the surprise mechanic to attacks made against my character, but he doesn't call them surprise. And last night was one of those moments. I mean, at this point, I don't. It was more annoying in the beginning because I was expecting to play the game, and not the constantly evolving rules that are playing with this guy as the DM. And now I'm getting kind of used to it, so it doesn't bother me as bad. I mean, it's still annoying, but it's not. Whatever. I'll deal with it and continue on my way. Um, there's some weirdness last night besides the alert thing I'm talking about here. So let's do the alert thing, anyways. So we go to open a door, and we go to open this door, and he says, "Oh, the bad guys heard you coming, and they held their action, and so you are being attacked by the bad guys. And then we'll roll initiative and continue from there." That, by rules, is a surprise round. That is how a surprise round works. You don't get to take an action or a reaction or move. And whoever is surprised goes, and then you start over at the top of the initiative list and continue on your way. So he had a surprise round just against my character again last night. And he doesn't even think it's a surprise round, I guess. He just, oh, that's a held action. That's not a surprise. That's totally different. How do you hold action outside of combat? That's not how the game works. It's not. I see arguments. Well, not arguments, but I see discussions of this fact on like Reddit and stuff, because I love to read Reddit about the game. Is that you can't play the game that has a set of rules if the people don't follow the rules consistently. And so it super annoys me when the rules get changed randomly on a whim, because in a game that doesn't have a set story map, whatever, there isn't a set of specific actions you can take, but there are rules on what you can do when you pick an action. And so it's super annoying to me when he changes the rules on a whim for an action that has rules for it, that you know, I follow, but then he suddenly decides he's not going to follow it. And so, but if I can't be surprised by enemies that are within 30 feet of me, how does the enemies get to shoot at me without me being aware that it's going to happen? Is that not a surprise? And the surprise round, like I said, is no movement, no action, no reaction until your next turn. And I wasn't allowed to move or react or take an action. I just took shots by bad guys. I think only one of the 3 attacks hit, so it wasn't even that big a deal. But it's by definition a surprise round on a character who, according to the weapon, can't be surprised. One time he had an arrow slit open up in the door when I went to investigate it and shoot me. Now, this isn't a trap. I would be fine with a trap because that's different. Traps don't surprise you. Well, I mean, traps do surprise you, but this wasn't a trap. This was a surprise round, and it's annoying. It's super annoying. The other weird thing that was going on is he keeps telling us about how he has ramped up the difficulty of the dungeon. And so I'm just playing the game. A lot of times I have the book open so that I can read the descriptions of the rooms because I don't follow his descriptions, and I want to make sure what I'm looking at is what I think I'm looking at. There's also the issue with he doesn't take the cover off the map enough so that we can see what's going on, and if I have the map, I don't look at what's in the rooms. I just look at the fact there are rooms, and so that allows me to, allows me to see the hallway. 20 feet down the hallway isn't enough to know what that hallway is. Things like that, and so I've gotten in the habit now of once we finish a room, reading what was supposed to be in the room. And most of the time, if I'm going to look at the map to see about rooms, it's after we've already been in a room. And so he kept saying he's made the dungeon more difficult for us because while we have a list of what order we're doing the quests in because of some confusion earlier on in the game, we finished the previous dungeon, and this dungeon is supposed to be easier than the previous dungeon, and so he has decided to make it more difficult than the previous dungeon, he says. And what is this? This is a library. This is a bookstore. Am I in a college? Or are those cash registers supposed to be? I guess the library has cash registers for overdue books, right? So we go in and we fight some stuff, and he had this. I don't even know. I'm not exactly sure what was going on in our first encounter for the night, but he made up an encounter. He's got this thing. He was supposed to do this one thing a long time ago, and he didn't do it. And now he's done it like 3 times since. And there's this bomb thing in the game, and so there's supposed to be a moment where they threaten to blow up a town, and you have to stop it. And he skipped it. And so then, So then he actually blew up a town, and I'm not sure what we were supposed to do at that point, and so he was shocked after he told us that a town got blew up, that we didn't go to the blown up town. And I'm like, well, I mean, what are we gonna do? We're not gonna go help him recover from that town, right? I mean, we got more important things to do than cleaning up rubble for people. We don't particularly have the spells for it. You know, we don't have spells of that kind. We're not builders. We don't we didn't go with mend and prestidigitation or telekinesis or Bigby's hand or anything like that. We're, you know, blight and inferno and, you know, stuff like that. We attack things. We're not cleanup crew. And at least not in that sense. And so he was like, "You're really not going to go to the town?" I'm like, "Well, it's blowing up. What are we going to do there?" I'm like, "Other guy, what are we going to do there? You want to go to the town that's been blown up? I mean, what are we going to do there?" And he's like, "Yeah, I don't know what we're supposed to do there. I think we should continue on with the mission we currently have." I'm like, "Do they have any reason for us to go there? I want to ask the people we're talking to, and they're like, no, they're just upset that their town exploded." I'm like, well, I guess they can be upset their town exploded, but that doesn't really have a whole lot to do with us at this point now, does it? So we have faced off against bad guys with those bombs three times now, and last night was the third time, and for whatever reason they had six civilians with them who were just standing there. And so we came in, and we were actually on a carpet. We have a flying carpet now because he thought that would be fun. I don't really find it any different than the horses that we had purchased before that. And so we he arbitrarily set us at 300 feet in the air looking for these people. We didn't say we wanted to be 300 feet in the air. He told us we were 300 feet in the air because he likes to tell us where we're at and where we're going and what we're doing, which is all railroading. And it's his favorite thing to do, I feel sometimes. And so, for whatever reason, we got in there and we just attacked from up in the air and killed them and took another orb. And so I'm like, there were like two guys. I told you it was going to be more difficult. There were two guys, dude. They were dead before we landed practically. The whole dungeon that we're in now is full of these guys. They're supposed to be there. This isn't harder. This is just... anyways, so I don't know why I got off on this. I wanted to tell one more thing here before I quit. And that was, so I'm looking in the book, and he's talking about how much harder he's making this dungeon, because the previous dungeon was more difficult, and he wants it to ramp up in difficulty as we go, I guess. And he's leaving out bad guys left and right all over the place in this dungeon. And I'm like, I sent a message to the other guy. I'm like, okay, so this room that we were just in was supposed to have 3 more of these bad guys, and they were not particularly overly tough, but we fought 3 of them, and there were supposed to be 6 of them. And we easily handled 3 of them, but they did take more than one turn. And so instead of 3 guys attacking 4 of us, it should have been 6 guys attacking 4 of us that take us more than one turn to kill. And so, you know, I mean, that would have made that fight way harder had he just included the mobs he was supposed to. We went in another spot. Ooh, a map. I like treasure maps. I like treasure maps. Sorry, tokens. And then we got in this other spot, and the ooh, get off me. He left 4 bad guys out of that room that were supposed to be there. 4. That's a lot of bad guys to leave out. And so he changed like 1 guy to a different guy. It's not as bad as it was in the fire dungeon, because he was also making the fire dungeon more difficult, which is already a difficult dungeon because everything's got a damage shield on it. But he was adding like extra wizards, which greatly ramp up the difficulty when it's 1 bad guy that throws fireballs, and he increases it to 3 bad guys that throw fireballs, because fireballs hurt. And so 3 rounds of fireballs is probably just about enough to kill off our team. And it came really close. So, yeah. Alright, well... ooh, hey. I think I am going to go ahead and call it here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. So, with that, click like if you like, subscribe, share, and catch the next one. I'll talk to you later.